Welcome to our Village podcast. My name is Sylvie Bello and I'll be your host for season 1. This project is proudly commissioned by the Project Art Center. And let me tell you something, if you love food and you care about the people that make your food, this episode is for you. So you're going to be hungry. Grab some popcorn and let's get into it. To be honest, I'm just going to carry on the conversation because we've literally been talking for like 3 hours already. But yeah, no, I was saying like my first memories of you were in church. And I remember anytime you used to walk in, like your hair, like the way you used to cut your hair, multiple colors, like it was just like there was nobody doing that, and it was like so special to see that because obviously I'm an artist and I love painting people with like intense colors. Inspiration.
Expression.
Immediately
Always
inspiration.
expressing.
Always expressing. So yeah, I'm so happy to have you guys here. Like it is amazing to have you guys here, and both of you are like major people when it comes to food, especially within Dublin. I think a scope, like obviously Dublin is quite big. You know what I mean? But I think just in general, in terms of Ireland, there's not many people that we can like kind of point to in terms of like people who are doing food and doing it like with such intent. And I think you guys like are the best in the game. That like, anyways, in
Oh,
Dublin.
Thank you.
Sorry to anybody.
I'll take that. We'll take that.
But yeah, so I just wanted to like hear more about you guys. And I was mentioning to you guys as well, like before anybody steps into anything that you guys do, if it's your restaurants, if it's your restaurant, it's a thing of like, you can tell that you've thought about every single person that's that's coming into your space. So yeah, I want to hear a bit about your background. Like what has inspired your love for food? Like I know we've spoke a lot already and we've shared a lot, but what has inspired your background and your love for food?
Thanks, Toby. I'm going to say good morning again to you.
Good
Are we
morning.
in the afternoon now?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I will start with saying that I came to Ireland now over 20 years ago,
Yeah.
and when I came, I did a lot of work, and getting, especially being a stranger in a new place. I'm just like, okay, how do I survive here and all of that. So, but at some point, I knew exactly what I wanted and how I was going to go about it.
Okay, yeah.
So, but one thing that happened along the line, maybe some years after,
Yeah.
after I started work, I qualified as a social worker professional,
Okay.
and I work for SOSLA. So, but all along the line, while I was working, be it in my working as a social worker or even before I qualified, I just noticed one thing, that we didn't really have something representing us in terms of food. And then I go, and we know we Africans, especially we Nigerians, we love our food so much that
So
you want to see,
we mean
we
it with
want,
so
and
much.
especially rice. You
Yeah.
want to see one form of, something that you can even identify.
Right, yeah.
But for some reason, I just couldn't find anything
Yeah.
except for those for those ones that have maybe a food business within my community.
Yeah.
So, but I
within-
want to go to the likes of Tesco and pick up jollof rice.
yeah.
I want to go to the likes of Dons
Value.
or go to Super Value
Yeah.
and see something displayed that is African.
Mm.
So I think that was what
Inspired that.
actually birthed, my going into the food
That's amazing. Yeah.
space.
So you just again, it was a
And
lack of, and
it
like
was
you
a
saw,
lack
yeah,
of
Problem and solution.
and then
Yeah,
you
exactly.
you see a lot of Indian food, the
Yeah.
spices. You see Chinese. You see every other
Every
culture.
other
You have
culture.
every other country, but you're not seeing anything African.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, when is this going to happen? How is it going to happen?
Yeah.
And so, and I think I became so passionate about that,
Yeah.
and I wasn't looking at any other thing.
Yeah.
I just want to see
that
happen.
and yeah. Okay.
For me to walk in there and be able to pick up a spice.
Spice,
This is a
yeah.
Nigerian spices.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
we're going to
so,
a few things I said I
yeah.
want to circle back to, but Tolu, I think when I met you, you were working in like something to do with airlines.
Airlines,
yeah, yeah.
I was working in
Were you a
aviation.
pilot? yeah.
I was working in aviation. I think I was a price and data analyst.
Yeah.
So but
So
my
this for me, like when you got into food, I was like, I
Yeah.
did not expect it, and also like when you did it, like you did it so well, like instantly. So like, where did that
come
that
from?
start? Yeah.
So my journey is kind of different. So I finished uni a few years back, like I think it was 2017, and I
Yeah.
spent the summer. I was working in LA. I was working in like a fine dining restaurant. It was
Oh,
called the
cool.
Water Grill. It was in Santa Monica. I looked out onto the pier,
Oh,
and
nice.
it looked incredible.
Yeah.
And I was just bussing tables, running tables. I was like, I like the energy of this thing.
Yeah.
But when I came back to, I spent like 4 months there. But when I came back to Ireland, I was like, I said to one of my boys, I was like, why is there no like this version what I would just worked in?
Yeah.
Why is there nothing like this for African food?
Yeah.
And we sat down, we did like a business plan for a restaurant.
And this was like
this was years ago.
Okay.
So I sat on this thing for like 7 years.
Wow.
And then I was just like, this idea was just in me. It was just in me. It was
Yeah.
in me. And then last year, a lot of things was happening in life. People were like life events was happening around me.
Yeah.
There's people passing away. There's things that you were seeing happening. And I was like, you're sitting on an idea and you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I was like, how can I get this into the market? And then I
Yeah.
decided, let's just try a pop-up. So I tried one, and I tried two, and then it just started
It
working.
just kept yeah.
So the idea, it seemed random,
Yeah.
but it's something that I wanted to do for
For
a long time.
Yeah.
And because I wanted to do it for a long time, I had like analyzed and I'd analyzed and looked at it a lot.
Yeah.
Like I essentially know how I'm going to do it for the next like 4 or 5 years. I know exactly
Yeah.
how
Where you wanted to
where
grow.
it wants
yeah.
to go and how we're going to do it. So it seemed random, but it was like
7
people
years.
don't know. Like I was sitting on that for a while,
For such a long time. Yeah, again. And I love the fact that for both of you, it was a thing of like you saw a lack of, and that planted something. And you saw something. You traveled. You saw something that you like. I feel like people should experience this at home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You locked into that. You saw a lack of as well, and then you're like, it built something in you. And I think there's something really particular about being in Ireland again, because we're very much first generation, and there's no pre-existing anything that like, it's not like you saw a restaurant in Ireland that you were like, oh, fine dining this and I want to get into that. It was like this outside experience that you kind of brought in. I think both as people who have businesses now, like how was that, like even finding that inspiration in terms of like you have not seen anything done like this before, like what gave you the feeling of like taking that risk to like, I'm gonna do this, and even though there's nobody that's done it, if this is going to work for me.
Which one, if you want to?
I'll let you go first. I'll let you go first.
Oh, being a gentleman, I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I think again, what for me, what
Yeah.
I see before I ventured into it is the joy of seeing that thing happen.
Yeah.
So I didn't look at any other thing as an obstacle, or I'm just whatever it is, let's break it.
Yeah.
Let's break it. It
Yeah.
has to happen. So yeah, there wasn't anything like that.
Yeah.
So if I ask people, have you tried this before? Oh, what is that? What is it called? So I said, okay. So it has to happen, And again, I look at the health benefits of most, especially Nigerian food.
Yeah.
We have so many organic
Everything.
food in nature.
Yeah.
Almost every one of
Yeah.
our food are organic in nature. I go to the likes of Aldi, go to Tesco, you know the pawpaw, the papaya.
Yeah.
I look at pawpaw, I'm like, oh my God, is this pawpaw? They look very tiny, they look,
Yeah.
I've never, and I'm being frank, no, I don't particularly like it that much, but
Yeah.
I've never bought one.
Yeah.
Why? Because pawpaw in Nigeria, it can be as bigger than my head.
Yeah.
So when now come and see a miniature kind of, I'm like, okay,
Yeah, this ain't
So,
real.
so we have. So how can I tell my Irish friends? How can I tell my Irish colleagues that, look, we've got something nice. We have very organic type of food,
yeah.
healthy stuff.
Yeah.
So the best thing is go into that space, go into the market, do
Yeah.
your research and see how you can, how you can
Yeah.
you can sell this.
Yeah.
You know, what you have to them. Yeah, they know me. Oh, she's in Nigeria. But how well do you know me?
Yeah.
You know, and people love to hear your story. People want to know your background. People want to know where you're not just somebody that just fall from
From
the
the
space
sky, yeah.
and and then you just fall and then you drop into island. No,
Yeah.
you want to know where you're coming from, and that
Yeah.
is when I came to Ireland, my passport reads I'm from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Now, where exactly? They will want to ask for that question.
Yeah, because we all
So,
don't eat the same
yes,
thing or experience
yes.
the same
So
thing.
those
Yeah.
are the things. I think those were the things that was for me. That I just want people to know more
Yeah.
about
Culture.
me,
Yeah.
about my culture, about my people,
Yeah.
about my food.
Yeah.
As much as I am knowing them,
Yeah.
I'm in Ireland.
Yeah, we're
so,
indulging
yeah,
in.
We're
Yeah.
learning
so
it.
we are
Yeah.
integrating
I'm connecting so much
into
to what
the
you're saying.
community.
Yeah.
We're connecting with everybody in the community.
Yeah.
Well, I love. I go to different places to have Irish food.
Yeah.
You know, so let them come.
Yeah, come on, try
Come on,
this.
try
Like,
this, yeah.
Try
yeah.
my food as well.
Yeah.
So even up to today, some Nigerians still ask me, "Are you sure? Are you sure the Irish people will
Yeah,
be?" I
of
said,
course,
"Of course."
yeah.
Like,
80. If I tell that 80% of my customers are Irish, will you
yeah.
believe that? He said, "Oh, seriously?" You know, but if you don't try something,
Yeah,
You
you
never
you're not
never
know
gonna
it's gonna
know.
work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not gonna know what the outcome will be. So
Yeah.
I think that's
No, that is
Yeah,
such a
so-
beautiful answer. What about
I
yourself,
think
Tolu?
just to build on what
Yeah.
she was just saying, that it's came from a place for me of like culture is really important to me, and I feel like I said this before. I feel like the world has gotten a little bit fragmented in terms of like what's happening. Just like with just everything that happened last year, there's a lot of things that it seemed like
Yeah.
everything was, there's a lot of turmoil.
Yeah, I think since the
And,
pandemic,
like,
it's not like obviously
exactly.
things were happening prior to the pandemic.
Yeah, but it became
there's-
worse.
yeah,
It became
something
amplified. Maybe.
Yeah,
It became
exactly.
amplified.
Yeah,
And I felt like first of all, I wanted to package something in a way that people would receive it. So how can I create a dining experience that Africans would love, the diaspora would love,
Yeah.
but also the people in Ireland
Yeah.
who were like, what is this culture about?
yeah,
Oh, African food. Oh, I'm not going to go to that space because it looks like it's just for Africans. Kind of thing.
yeah.
So I was trying to create an experience or dining experience that would appeal to both.
yeah,
And that's what I was really focusing on. And the reason why I wasn't really worried about, like, it's not that I wasn't worried about failure. I think failure is something that you can fail in anything, but
anything. Yeah,
if you don't try, if you
It's
don't try,
guaranteed.
then you're living with regrets for the rest of your life.
yeah, like
So I'd rather go and attempt to do something great than to sit on the idea for the rest of my life.
yeah,
So I think the Ibile really started from a place of storytelling and culture,
Yeah.
and how can I kind of bring
that.
people together
Yeah.
into, because if you think about West Africa and Nigeria, they're probably one of the loudest out of Africa.
Yeah,
200 million people, probably one of the biggest.
more than that. Now.
Yeah.
yeah, like
And if you think what Mama Shi was saying, like we've had other cultures not only in Ireland, other cultures will go to different countries and would have a big scene. So
Yeah.
there's a Chinatown. There's like
yeah, there's
Indian food. There's Korean.
Yeah.
Even in the Asian community will break down into Japanese.
oh yeah,
Korea.
the Asian community.
All of them will break down.
Can I get some master classes, please? Because the Asian community, they have it.
they've
they're
locked it
so
down.
quick.
But
They're
we
so
haven't
quick.
And
as
they are everywhere.
everywhere, and we haven't done that
Everywhere.
as ourselves. And
Yeah,
we haven't done a good job of like packaging our experiences or our food in a way
Yeah.
that people will receive.
And we have such beautiful
And we have beautiful stories to tell.
such beautiful
So
stories.
that was really what Ibile was kind of founded on, like
Yeah.
trying to tell a story through food, culture, arts, and just bring it all together in a
Yeah.
way that I would love to receive it, and I know other people would love to receive it as
Yeah.
well. So
And I think because obviously, like, also being, because can I ask you, when were you born in Ireland? Did you?
I was born in the States.
You're born in the States, so
Yeah.
American boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
So
born
like,
in the
where?
States.
So have you ever lived in Nigeria?
I lived in Nigeria for 4 years. I left the States when I was 3. I went back to Nigeria, and I came to Ireland when I was 7.
7. So
Yeah.
like, would you deem yourself, like, would you say you're Black and Irish? Like, how
Yeah.
do you, in terms of like capturing that, like, how would you, what would you call yourself?
If people ask me, I say I'm Nigerian, but a Nigerian man that has an Irish accent. It's
Yeah.
so like,
And your lived experience
yes,
as
yeah.
well is
So
like
I'm
here.
I'm Irish. I'm
Yeah.
Nigerian. I think it's very, it's not a, it's very, it's not a straightforward question.
Yeah.
And I feel like as a Nigerian person, but I also feel Irish as well.
Like
So
100%. Because
so
obviously that's part of how you
and that's why I packaged the whole experience. Yeah.
Perfect. And mommy as well, you were saying you've also been in Ireland for 20 years now. And like you were sharing a couple of stories with us kind of before we started recording about like your experience coming here and working here and like again having the patience to know that you had to do the work to do that integration as well. But yeah, no, tell me about like where you're from, like, and because obviously food is a big part of your life now, but has that always been a big part of your life? Like coming from home, was your mom into catering? Like just tell me a bit about yourself and like again where the elements of like the food element comes. Did it, like I obviously know like what inspired it to happen in Ireland, but coming from home, like what inspired that?
Again, so when I came to Ireland, I mainly came to settle in my family and life generally. Okay, so um
So there was
I
no prior
am
experience.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. My mom was a great cook,
Okay, yeah.
but I can't ever remember because I say it to people
Yeah.
that I can't ever remember her telling me, being the fourth daughter,
Yeah.
her telling me, okay, do this, cook this that way, cook. No,
Yeah.
but the only thing I know happened in those days was she does a lot of cooking,
Mm.
and we normally would have a lot of people, guests coming to the house. So, and she loves presentation,
Yeah.
that everything has to look good,
Yeah.
that if she's giving you rice or
She
she's
wants to put
giving
in a
you,
particular plate,
just
a
make
particular
it
bowl.
beautiful.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then one thing which I am so glad that I was able to identify as a young person was quality.
Yeah.
So she doesn't do anything substandard. So if you are coming to table at my house, then you know you are eating the best
Yeah.
from the best.
Yeah.
So she gets the best of all in the market and come make it her best. There's a particular stew that my mom makes in those days that up to date, and a lot of people would ask me, "Oh, that your sauce?" That was my mother's secret sauce.
Yeah. Nobody can
know,
know that.
you know. So it was. I think that was how she was a great cook, and I think I got that from
From there.
yeah from that. And then I grew up. I went to a lot of boarding school.
Okay.
So boarding school in Nigeria, you're like they are giving you food in the hostel,
Yeah.
and then it's not the best. So we use a lot of boiling ring to do
Yeah.
concoction
Rice.
rice, the
Yeah.
pasta.
And if you don't know what concussion rice is or
So,
designer rice,
yes.
it's a
I
lot of
do.
things. Yeah.
Sometimes I can just wake up in that restaurant and just make concoction rice.
Yeah.
And those are the joy for me, that I can do whatever I like in
Yeah.
that in the
Yeah,
restaurant.
in your kitchen, yeah.
Just do whatever I just and So for me, food, I think the food came from my experience living at home with mom and knowing that this is what she enjoys doing, just entertaining
Yeah.
our guests, and for them to
Like
come
you
back
saw
and
the
say,
power in it.
so yeah. So, and I think what I did mostly those days was I would just be observing in the kitchen. So I'm not hands on with that. She does all her things.
Yeah.
Just because she wouldn't even believe that I can do anything that will make any difference. But the only thing is, I was watching,
Yeah.
and then I think again from growing up in boarding school, that helped my independence, and then my being able to bring different types of food and being able to be innovative about it.
Yeah.
I can just sit down now and begin to see that, okay, in my head, that is carrot. What can I do with carrots?
Yeah.
So those are the things
You
for
learn to
me.
use, and the
It's
thing
just,
about Nigerians, we
so
utilize everything. Like
everything.
even every part of the animal is utilized. That's what, like, even like egusi is like pumpkin seed, like
Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
every part
So-
of
Melon seeds.
melon
it's-
seed. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally. Oh, sorry, like
Yeah,
chef-
melon, yeah.
but it's one of those things like every part of the
Yeah.
fruit or animal is used. Because I remember saying there was a time time where like in Moore Street, like they used to give shaki for free because the butchers didn't
Yeah,
use
they didn't
shaki.
use them.
So
yeah.
like I remember like
But
people
now
like
they are selling
they
them.
sell it
Yeah,
because
so,
it's like
when
and which
we
is
came,
tripe,
they were all free.
Yeah.
All those parts, those beef parts
Right,
were
yeah.
all almost free.
Yeah.
But now they are packaging them, which is good, which is part of the integration.
Of
which
course,
is part
it's part of the integration.
It's
Yeah.
part of the
Yeah.
learning for them. And
Yeah.
so, some people do eat this.
Yeah.
I went to a party one day. No, it was a cultural day event, and
Yeah.
we had different African cultures there.
Yeah.
We did food presentation.
Yeah.
And my God, on there I saw a
Asians,
goat's
yeah.
head in the plate. Food, they didn't even cut
it.
to kind of hide the identity of what you want. No, the full goat head was on the plate. I'm
Not
like,
hide
okay,
the identity.
okay. And you say me, you like food. This is at another level.
Yeah.
You know, so but that is part of that
culture,
is
yeah.
their own
Culture,
culture that you
yeah.
could design and dress up the
Goat's
head of
Yeah.
the goat and bring it to a function. Yeah, that all well and good.
Yeah.
And before minutes, people were buying it. I said,
Yeah.
oh my God, chicken feet. I
Yeah.
love chicken feet in my house. I would eat
Yeah,
anything,
'cause when
but
you
I
crack
won't
it,
bring
yeah.
chicken feet
It's-
into
the
a
restaurant.
culture. But they were there on the with shaki.
Yeah,
All of
yeah.
them. I said, okay, all right. But that is their culture.
Yeah.
And people were so happy. They were buying it. I think
Yeah.
I bought one or two things for curiosity. That
I
yes,
want to try this.
And that's
So, yeah.
that's what it's
So-
supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
so what again? So coming to Ireland, so it wouldn't have been, oh, once I get to Ireland, this is what I'm going to do. No,
No.
it only came because of that gap.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that I wanted my Irish people to know that we have good food,
Food,
Yeah.
yeah.
loads of food. That was the thing for me.
Yeah.
So if there was anything I was interested in going into at all, it's fashion, clothing.
Yeah.
But I love looking good, and I love
Yeah.
to make a statement anywhere I go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she goes again.
And also, I
this-
also want to ask about that. I
So,
know we're talking about
yeah.
food, but the
So-
statement element of you, because I think
Mm.
part of what makes Mama Shee so like exciting is the personality behind it as well. Because every time I remember kind of any interviews or anytime I remember things, it's your personality that I was like, yeah, no, this is gonna sell. Like your personality sells. And again, as I was saying, I remember in church, out of every single person in church,
Showing up.
stepped up.
I want those to
Stepped up the
You don't
plate,
want to
the
start now.
hair, the cut, the shoes. Like I just always, and because it was so interesting, like I think in churches, like when you go to a place often enough, there's a certain place that you normally sit.
Down, yeah.
I remember where you used to like sit at the very top, at the edge, and I'd always
so
just catch
interesting.
your hair. I'm like, wow, there's just nobody doing
I
that.
think you can
Yeah.
also see that in like just the products and stuff.
Exactly, yeah. Like the vibrancy and like your personality
Personality,
shows
yeah.
in your food. And then for Tolu, I know it's your journey being in America, then Nigeria, then Ireland from 7. So like the majority of your like life experience has been formed in Ireland.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And obviously you're still very much in touch with your roots. Like even like we're all Yoruba speaking here, like you
Yeah.
still
Yeah,
very
it's
much
good.
understand your language.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? So it's like not like it hasn't been lost. So like
No.
tell me a bit about that. Like tell me about how preserving your own culture, like did your
Think-
was mom into food? Like how did
I
this
think
like inspire?
The food came from when I spent that time in America.
Yeah.
But the culture is what's really driving the Ibile.
Yeah.
I think it's when you live in a country for so long and then I find that culture is like identity, and I didn't want to lose identity. So I made an
Yeah.
effort to keep the language, to keep certain elements. And as I started going back to Nigeria as well, I also became more connected to the culture as well.
Yeah.
And that's what really is really driving Ibile, is really ensuring that like culture is understood in this country,
yeah.
the West African Nigerian culture. And I always use the term West Africa because jollof rice is in Senegal, it's in Ghana, it's in, there's different
Are you,
things.
sorry, I thought you were going to who's the best? Are we still having the
We're
jollof
gonna have
rice
that.
war?
No
There's
more
no one-
competition.
No more competition?
Nigeria's jollof is just the best.
Yeah. You heard
Standard
it
now.
from Mama Shee,
Standard.
and she's queen of food.
It's
So
standard,
like
yeah.
everybody else, sorry.
Yeah, I think, just like it's really just, it's founded on the base of just, I just didn't want to lose culture. And I
Yeah.
felt like sometimes when you live away for so long, you lose culture. And also people don't understand your culture. So how can we create a space that is inclusive? How can we package the food in a way that people want to try it? And then how can we also keep some level of authenticity as well at the same time?
Food.
Yeah, it's very important. How can you keep
Yeah.
authenticity while also presenting it in a
creating
way
something
that
different.
people want to try it. So that's kind of
Yeah.
what is
And I
driving
think
Ibile.
the beautiful thing about it, because both of you have like, again, both of you are serving African food, but both of you have like very interesting ways of
Is
like
doing
bringing
it,
that
yeah.
forward. And like with you, I definitely, every time I have your food, I feel that traditional sense of like, this feels like home. This, like, every time I think of like patty jello fries, because there's certain things that we experience growing
Yeah,
up that like
yeah, yeah.
certain foods you wouldn't have it unless you're in
can't beat
someone's
patty
birthday.
jollof fries.
You can't have patty jello fries on a normal Wednesday
It's not
unless you're
party.
at a party. Like, do you know what I mean? And like certain things are made a certain type of way, and I feel like that gave me that comfort of like, if I'm craving jollof fries, I just know where to go get jollof fries. I want plantain. It's that comfort in me, similar to when I saw your pack of suya in Super Value at the time. Was it? Wait, was this? Yeah, it was
Super
Super
Value,
Value.
yeah.
Was, I think, when it first. And I remember just standing there being like, what? And that was my first time like experiencing that. And I remember saying this to one of my friends, and she was like, similar, her first experience as well. See my machine Super Value and being like, wait, what? Like, when did this happen?
And it shouldn't be foreign. If you go to the
Yeah.
UK, if you go to the UK, there's African
Yeah.
products in shops and stuff. There's Asian
It's
products.
normal.
It's quite normal, but it's
Yeah.
we're that, like you said, we're behind here nearly in Ireland. We're
Yeah.
behind, and it's up to a few people to really step up and try and push.
that
Yeah.
forward.
And
Yeah.
I think again, the challenge is that a lot of us are not, ready to take up that.
Mantle to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. It's a big
It's a
big
scary
responsibility.
one.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is a scary
But
thing.
they are not just ready to jump into breaking those
Molds.
walls.
Yeah.
So many people may just be comfortable that, okay, look, these are my people.
Yeah.
No, but for me, I'm like, no, I'm not here because I just want to relate to
Yeah.
this is not my country.
Yeah.
There has to be a way for me to promote my culture
Yeah.
within the culture
Yeah.
that I live.
Yeah.
So how can we blend the two
two together.
cultures?
Yeah.
So I'm here. I take islanders home. So how
100%.
can Ireland also
Receive us.
receive the
the
part of my Nigerian culture?
culture.
I don't want my children to lose the identity of where they're coming from
Yeah.
and all of that. So for me, having to get into that space is the easiest because food is almost everything in
Yeah.
life.
Like,
It's one of the
you
easiest
know?
ways to experience
So,
new
yes.
culture.
every
So,
yeah.
and in every way that I think I can, every opportunity that I get in presenting it, I just kind
Take
of
it,
use
yeah.
it, and that is why you see for many years now I wear mainly almost
Your
my
African
African
attire, yeah.
in different style.
Yeah.
So I love my flowing gowns. People know me. That
Yeah,
always you just
exactly.
see I'm
Yeah.
flowing around. It is still part of promoting that
Yeah.
culture,
Yeah.
telling you that okay, this is what we have and we can make it in different ways. And all
Yeah.
that. So everything is all inclusive.
Yeah.
So if you want to know me, you have to know everything about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then again, you have to tell the story
Mhm.
of okay, what you give an Irish person a goosey
Yeah.
and pounded yam.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes everybody come. What my experience is, they'll come and ask, "Do you have fufu?"
Yeah.
Fufu. I said the first time I heard somebody saying fufu. I don't know if you remember this egusi that went viral at that time online.
Yeah, online. Yeah.
In America, it was
This is when
COVID.
COVID.
It's
So
COVID.
everybody, yeah. Because
And
even
then-
in
and
the
then-
America,
And
yeah.
and that is the power of social media, and that was what brought egusi out.
Yeah,
The
literally,
egusi
because
soup.
like all like
So
and
now,
Americans were trying it and it was
everybody
awkward,
know,
but like they
if
tried
it's
it.
egusi, they want to know, and then
Yeah.
fufu.
Yeah.
Now, fufu, because it was what was presented at the time.
Yeah.
Fufu, they called it that meal fufu at the
Fufu.
time, fufu and egusi.
Yeah.
So now, if you have pounded yam if somebody else is not your culture,
Yeah.
they call it fufu.
Fufu,
If
yeah.
you
They
have
have
semo, it is
fufu.
fufu.
Yeah.
Eba, it is
Yeah.
fufu.
Yeah.
So it is
Yeah.
now that I'm beginning to, have to let them know.
Differentiate.
You
Yeah.
have to explain it. That look, fufu is cassava standing
Yeah.
on its own.
Yeah.
Pounded yam is so every one of these things are called swallow.
Yeah.
Because you swallow
Swallow
them with the
them, yeah.
particular kind of
Yeah.
stew or
With a stew,
soup.
yeah.
So yeah, so all it is just so interesting because you won't know that people don't know until you
Until you-
begin to hear from them.
Yeah.
So, but if you
Rather than
if you are not, you know,
willing to
to
explain
take that
or
step
take the
and to
mantle.
explain,
Yeah.
you know,
And it's not as plain, like, because obviously, like, rice is something that you see. It's like, oh, this is yellow rice, red rice. But it's like
Yeah.
a lot of things also look very similar. Like, a lot of the swallows, apart from amala, obviously, amala.
yeah.
Hold on to amala. I love amala personally. I'm an abula queen. Like, if I'm going through depression, honest to God, like, if I have abula in the house, 3 days of abula straight cured. Like, if I wake up and I know there's abula
This
at home.
abula thing that you just started the
Abula.
story now.
Serious.
Yeah, at my restaurant we have a spot for abula. Though we haven't started it fully because the crowd that I'm having now, there are still like not many people would still talk about abula. But
Yeah.
I know we're going to get to that.
We need to make
stage where
abula viral.
I went. It's going to
We
be
need to-
viral very soon.
Yeah,
I went
package it in a way.
to. I went to. We did. There was a wedding that somebody, another chef called me that, oh, let's do this together.
Yeah.
And it was in Cork. It was in an hotel in Cork. And we had, you know yourself, at parties, everybody will carry their plate. We want abula.
Yes,
abula,
straight.
everybody.
Like,
So, and that, we had about 350 people.
yeah.
And we made
Good.
preparation for at least 100 amala.
Yeah.
Because you know people would ask. for it.
Yeah.
So when we started, on the day, all the hotel staff were the ones that were engaged in serving.
Okay.
And then the
Fascinating.
owner was on the ground.
Yeah.
So at one stage, she got, we got so really busy serving. And then he kept coming back. One amala, I need amala, I need amala. So at that point, he came to me and said, what is
Is
this?
this amala?
What is so
What-
special
what-
about this amala?
what-
Everybody wants amala. And you know the funny thing, I kept one small for myself.
Yeah.
And put it just beside the
Yeah.
big pot. So I have my one there. So the last one, and it's like another 3 amala. I said, no, amala is finished.
Finished.
I said, no, amala cannot finish.
Amala cannot finish.
He said, okay. Jimmy, I said, amala is gone, it's finished. So he now saw my amala. I said, I'm going to take this. I said, no,
Yeah,
you're
I
not
think that's
you're not taking
mine.
my amala.
No.
Like, I don't care.
Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
You want to explain why this amala is very
It's
expensive.
very
It's
But
just the
this
way
is
it's
for the
packaged,
bride.
man.
I said,
Oh,
wow.
not the
Abula
bride. I'm
will
so
bless
sorry. The
you.
bride is gonna have to starve. I'm sorry.
So it was just so funny, So, and everybody amala. So, but the way he presented it,
Yeah.
he was just he was so
shocked, yeah.
curious about it. That amala, what is amala? So,
Guys,
and
can
that
we
is,
work on some sort of like national
you
amala
know,
day?
yeah, I'm telling
We
you,
should do
and
that
you see,
now.
and
A
that
national
is,
amala day.
Yeah,
You think
Abula
that will
day.
go here?
I would say
We'll
Of
serve
course.
it's only amala,
Amala,
hot
swallow.
and piping. That's
No,
the
even,
way.
even if you
The
have
red
it,
stew and
and everything,
Yeah.
everything, different type of stew can go there.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is that it might even be a swallow day kind
Yeah.
of, so it's all everything
Yeah.
swallow.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do like
So if
we
you
can
do
actually do
everything
that.
swallow, can do more of the amala,
Guys.
A swallow
more
day.
of them. I don't
I'm
want.
a
Normally,
pound,
this
I'm
is-
a
this
pound
the
of jam
point I
kind of
normally
guy
make,
though.
Deep into the camera,
So-
guys. There's people here who want to have a
so-
swallow day. This is
so-
a very important national day in Ireland. We want to propose a national holiday.
Okay, like they have the Jollof festival.
The Jollof Festival. We
Yeah,
have
so-
Swallow Festival.
There's a
we have,
Jollof festival.
Oh,
it-
there is.
yeah,
Oh,
but it's not
there is.
celebrated. I
No,
didn't
not
get. I
in
didn't.
Ireland, though.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
okay.
The
So we want a
Caribbean,
national Jollof day.
Yes, so
Yeah.
We want a national
swallow
Swallow
day.
day.
and
Anybody
amala.
that wants to
So-
sponsor,
Yeah.
you know where to come. We have
Yes,
amazing people
so-
here who will give you the best of the best.
Of
Okay,
course,
you know what
of
I mean?
course.
So,
So-
we're just letting them know. We're
Yeah.
just letting them know.
Yeah.
So he was also over the place, and then he was like, "Mama, she come here, tell me what's about amala? Is that not fufu?" I said, "Yeah, it's swallow. It's not fufu.
It's not
That's what
fufu,
you.
though.
That's what
amala is
you have to
different."
explain it
Yeah.
to them in
So,
a way.
but when they see different types of swallow,
Yeah.
they would understand. And
Yeah.
how can they say it if we don't make it? They won't.
Okay,
say
no,
it.
International
You know.
Swallow Day.
So,
We're coming.
yeah.
We're literally going to
Yeah,
do I think that's really,
definitely.
really important.
Let's go.
Yeah, this summer.
this summer,
Yeah, no, like I'm for real.
we
This
can
summer,
host it on-
we put heads together. Don't worry.
Put heads
Tuesday.
together.
Yeah,
International
yeah,
Swallow Day.
yeah.
It's happening.
sounds like a
It'll be-
fantastic
yeah,
plan.
Yeah, like
yeah.
I'm
Ibile,
ready.
Ibile as host will
It'll
be willing to.
it'll be-
Amazing.
to do it,
Okay,
to
okay,
do that.
good.
It'll
Everybody,
be-
don't come with jeans. Wear
Yeah,
tracksuit.
so-
Make sure there's a lot of space in your
Yeah,
belly
so-
because because and we have sleeping pads on site because pounded yam literally makes you sleep. Like if you're gonna eat that much swallow, you're gonna sleep. But
amala is light.
Yeah, that's
one
what I
thing.
love. I can eat
Very
amala at
light.
3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
I've
Okay,
done it.
relax.
Very.
I've woken
No,
up
no, no.
6
That's
a.m.
true.
in the
It is
morning.
Very light.
Amala.
And,
If I told you if I need to cure my depression, Amala is helping me. You're asking me. Literally 6 a.m. in the morning. Abula. I'm literally. I can have that. Yeah.
And because it's a very balanced kind of diet as
Meal.
well,
Yeah.
because you
It's
have-
very healthy.
Yeah.
You have the begiri there as protein,
Yeah.
it's all beans, and
Yeah.
then you have the green,
Yeah.
the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
vegetable, this is the
Yeah.
and then you have your protein, your this, and then you have
Your
the
stew.
yam flour,
Yeah.
which is the amala itself. So it's a very balanced.
You guys are getting me hungry.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean?
And
But
it's quite
yeah.
light, so.
No, I enjoy. Like I really enjoy. But Tolu as well. I
Mm-hmm.
find the presentation, like how you've gone for with Ibile has been just so like it's literally an art exhibition in itself. Do you know what I mean?
Thank you so much.
Absolutely amazing, and like I've heard the best things from like people's experience, just not even outside of the food, but I think the general experience of going to Ibile has been just like wow. So I just want to like talk to you more about that, and like also talk about how this is curated. Like how do you create these things? Like what's happening?
Yeah.
Like give us a bit behind the scenes of like what goes
think-
on before people show up on the day.
Yeah, so I think what I really wanted to do, because I'm not a chef,
Yeah.
I run the front of house.
Your chef is
Nemo.
Yeah, Nemo, absolutely amazing.
Sorry, Naimi.
Naimi Nemo.
Nemo. But
Yeah,
everyone
because I
calls
think
him
we
Nemo.
all know him
That's
as
Nemo.
Nemo, yeah.
Then we
Well,
also
shout
have,
out to you though. You're
yeah,
amazing.
We also have Debbie from Aduni Bites. We've got
Yeah.
Chef Mags. We've got Raphael. There's
Yeah.
4 currently in the team. We're looking to
Yeah.
bring one more in.
Wow.
Yeah. And how it works is really, so from the menu, we're trying to do storytelling.
Yeah.
So I said to the guys, can we tell a story through the menu? So we broke down Nigeria or West into like regions.
Yeah.
North side, south, Hausa food.
Yeah.
South side, south is Delta. East is Igbo. Southwest is Yoruba. So we try to have food from each region. And that's why we had the food from each region on the menu, so that we can then, the food that's eaten in the Igbo side, is also sometimes eaten in Cameroon because that side touches Cameroon. The food in the north is also eaten in Niger because that side touches. The food in Southwest is eaten by Togo because it touches. So we're trying to tell a story through the menu, and then it's the same thing. Then you then go from the menu into the experience. So art. Food is culture. Art is also culture. So we always feature a new artist in the room, and we try and have relatively big pieces that can kind of captivate or tell a story. So we've worked with like 7 different artists.
Yeah.
So the whole room is covered with art. Then we go to the drinks element of it, and take in like a normal drink, like a normal cocktail that you would have, and we'll change that cocktail to an African inspired cocktail. So we've added suya spice to a gin sour, and we've had like a suya sour, and we've had like, you know, Rooibos grows in South Africa. It's like you have Rooibos tea bags. We've infused that into whiskey.
Okay,
we had a Rooibos old fashioned. So we do all these things to try and like every single element of what we're doing is storytelling.
Yeah, you're trying to even if it's something that we enjoy here, there's things that we can add
into the thing. So all the whole curation of Ibile is how can we tell a story? How can we tell a story?
Extremely hard to do though, because it's like all of those elements. Because obviously, I think it's also understanding that you're not also even though you're Nigerian and Edo, like it's one of those things like you're not only trying to just like push the Nigerian-ness. Do you know what I mean? It's like again, it seems like you're understanding the regions and trying to like or play around and get that. And in terms of like, how long is it taking you guys to actually curate a menu? Because it's like
So at this stage now, it's getting a little bit easier because we have a selection of things that
you have already
been worked on. I think even some of the stuff that we've done on the menu that some people didn't like this. We did everyone knows pepper soup in Nigeria. We did an egusi pepper soup. I was saying this to Mama Shee. Egusi pepper soup is eaten in Delta State in the South. But a lot of people in Nigeria wouldn't have actually really tried it.
Yeah, because it's even I haven't tried it, and that's in my mind. I'm like,
it's
odd.
simply just pepper soup
Yeah.
with egusi inside it.
Yeah.
There's no palm oil that you used to make the egusi soup, so it's the
Okay.
the melon seeds still. So the pepper soup looks yellow,
Yeah.
and it changes the flavor of the pepper soup as well.
Yeah.
So there's little things that I'll even do some research. I'll be like, guys, I found this dish.
That you
Can we try and incorporate this dish? And that's kind of how we go about it. And then we'll do like a plating session. We'll have the guys come in, they'll play around with different stuff. They'll try, okay, this works, this doesn't work, and then we then decide, okay, this is the menu we're gonna do. And then we then go into like the whole art element of the whole experience.
The whole experience.
So that's kind of how it
it's
works.
So, like, it's taken such a risk.
Egusi pepper soup that I saw. Somebody showed me. Okay, I didn't see the name, so I'm just looking and said, okay.
Why is this yellow?
Yeah.
Why is this yellow? Yeah.
So like,
now,
again, your food
now
comes
you've
with
explained it,
explanation.
So and that is you see, you just have to. When I was setting up the restaurant,
because I was about to get into the restaurant part. Because Mama owns a restaurant now.
The display.
Congrats.
Yeah,
you
literally.
Know? Thank you. People, you have to tell story. You have to tell. You may see almost every day you have new customers.
Yeah.
From building, I think menu or something. That's a different thing. So people come and they will ask. Even the person who ate plantain one is a very interesting one.
Yeah.
When I was doing my market in Spencer Dock, and then I had this lady. She came. She bought plantain. And then she went to, it was on a Wednesday. We go to Spencer Dock every Wednesday. Do you know she was the first person that came the next Wednesday? And was asking, she was looking around. I said, are you looking for something? He said, where is that? This is an Irish lady.
Yeah.
Where is that thing? I said, what thing? Then my son was like, Mom, I think I know what she's talking about. I said, what? I said, it might be plantain.
Yeah.
So
the almighty plantain.
Yeah.
And then he went to say,
Cannot
is
go
it?
wrong with
You
plantain.
And then she, my son was like, is this? He said, yeah, that was the first thing I had.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
That's what you're saying.
So you see, for me, that reaction, the coming from her, and I look at it that imagine that I never went into this food.
Yeah.
Imagine I never started this business. So there are so many people that you can actually meet, a need in their life with all of this. And then we don't know it.
Because food genuinely changes like
so
my emotion.
It's a different thing.
It's
a different. Some are ready to try.
Some are
don't.
not.
Some are just like, I am just happy.
Yeah.
With,
and I feel like plantain is like the best place to start.
So you get different responses, you get different reaction from people when they taste this, when they eat it.
I know people love your asaru.
The story.
Yeah.
Part
That's
of
it.
And
some people are just not aware of like the culture, the food, and you just have to, like you said, give it to them in a way. Sometimes you don't even need to change it.
Yeah.
They have never seen it before.
Yeah. And I think you both have like different ways of doing it and doing it so well. Because obviously, with you, the markets was like, I think being in the markets, you being on Moore Street changed the whole thing. Like
the market, the
markets, I think more
festivals. Festivals. We've been in Miriam Square for more than 5 years.
Yeah.
I started with Miriam Square. I've done different markets. In fact, I've gone to Caravan, I've gone to Cork, I've gone everywhere.
Yeah.
Like that's outreach. That's literally
it's called marketing.
Outreach.
Yeah. It's called marketing.
Serious marketing.
That is exactly what I want. It was like they have to taste what they want to eat.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the tasting makes the difference.
Yeah.
Because when they taste, and Super Value are so great about, helping small producers.
Yeah.
In showcasing their products and then they promote you to do lots of tasting, and you, the producer, being involved in it, which makes a lot of difference in what you are doing.
Yeah.
Because if you sit back and you allow some people to do your marketing for you, at times, a lot of the times, people need to see the face behind the food, 100%. Which is very important.
And sometimes some people might not understand the culture properly, so they cannot market it in a way that you would.
They will not market it in a way that you will do. So I think for me, that experience of that
Going
market,
around, yeah.
and then moving around, taking the food around, talking
Yeah.
about the story, it really helps,
Yeah.
to grow the
And you
business
also
and
get
to
to
grow the brand.
understand
What works?
Yes.
what works
Because
as
you're
Yes.
trying to
well.
find
Yes. The
product,
feedback.
product market fit is what
Yeah.
they call it. You're trying to find
Yeah.
what is gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that feedback, I remember when I started research on the kilishi product, and the kilishi is something that is very popular and very quite a good snack,
Yeah.
and I
It's
know
like
that,
beef jerky.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
Like,
beef
yeah,
yeah,
it's
jerky.
literally a
It is
beef
beef
jerky.
jerky. It's
Yeah.
just the Nigerian version
Of
Just
beef
of the
jerky.
beef jerky.
hammer
And
the spice.
and the
A
South
lot of it.
and the
Yeah.
South Africans, they have the biltong. So
Biltong,
the
Yeah.
biltong
yeah.
is what is available in most places, not kilishi.
Yeah.
So when I was doing that research, I said, okay, kilishi will be a nice one, suya will be a nice one. It will be more like acceptable with all from everybody. But then the point is, how do you market the kilishi? Because the kilishi, the variant of it, which is the biltong, is almost kind of, in terms of taste, kind of growing very well in the market.
Yeah.
So when I did my presentation to Super Valley at the time, they weren't so enthusiastic about it because they were looking at it as the
Biltong.
biltong, and they're like, they're not selling great. I said, you know what? Just give this a try. Give it a chance. Even I don't need many stores, just give me one store.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow. Yeah.
Just give me one store. So, and I remember James, the person who coordinated the course, was like, "Oh, this one she doesn't give up. I am actually addicted to that
Products.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's true. He only tasted it once, and if you have a pack of kilishi,
Yeah.
if you take one in here,
You-
before you get out, you
Finish
You
it, yeah.
like
the pack.
biggest
So,
problem.
so those are, and then somebody was actually telling me, and this is where I'm going about it. Somebody was like, "Why not call it chili?" But I said, "No,
Chili
I'm
what?
not going
Chili
to chili
bites.
bites."
No.
I said, "No, you're not going
No.
to lose if I call it any other name.
Yeah.
Then I have lost everything. I've
Yeah,
thrown
I've
it
sold
away.
it off.
There are
Yeah.
Yeah,
certain
I've thrown
things
away. So
that
you're
is
that
important.
originality.
Yeah.
You would eat kilishi as they would eat kilishi. So my kilishi that you eat here is like the kilishi you will eat in Nigeria.
home.
Yeah.
Every one single ingredient of the kilishi I make here, it's exactly the same as the way it is made in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is very important for me. You
Yeah.
can't change any element
Yeah.
of that product because you are losing. It's going to lose its roots.
It's authenticity.
Then again, in making other people, to continue, and you say, "Oh, it's very hot." No, you can make it and it's not very hot.
Yeah.
Some people even come to me. It is that hot one
Yeah.
that they
That they
like.
want.
Yes,
That's what
So
I had this thing with my chef with the guys as well with Nemo. We were talking about different
Spice
suya
levels,
spices and
yeah.
the spice level and like
and I tell
and
you,
it was
Tolu, I have the best spices. in
suya
town.
spice. Okay,
So just forget it.
okay,
I have the
okay.
best.
We'll be sourcing our suya
I
spice from
have-
you now.
I have
Yeah.
the best. No,
We-
I say that with so
Confidence.
much confidence,
Confidence.
Yeah.
pride, and joy. That's the best in town.
Okay.
Because the spices originates from the northern part of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up in the north.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I know every type. And so when you bring me samples of soya spice, I can tell you which one is the best. And if any other person tastes that, they will come back and tell you
Yeah.
that the
This
one I
is
have
the
chosen
best. Yeah.
is the best.
Yeah.
So a lot of people would ask me, "But how come I live there? I grew up there."
Yeah.
So I know a lot about them and their
Yeah.
And a lot of
culture,
people
their
don't know that
food.
the Norths are the home
Yeah.
of suya spices,
So,
really.
and they have, and not just the soya spice, in the north, they have plenty of varieties of spices, of even some other healthy herbs and tea and all
Yeah.
of that. So, Nigeria, we have a lot organic, So, and I will say to my Irish, come, let me take you to Nigeria. Come.
Yeah. Let's go to Nigeria. You have a good time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so maintaining that cultural identity, and
important,
again,
yeah.
I'm so glad about what Tolu is doing, because for me, I'm like, okay, all our youth, hey, you have to know and identify with your culture, so that, because once you have a culture, an identity crisis, that's where problems come for. But when you're able to balance the two,
The both,
be
yeah.
able to go to this and talk about proudly about the Nigerian food, about
Yeah.
your culture food,
Yeah.
about your home food.
Yeah, and I think also having
and
a
that
place to take them
helps.
to is important.
Yes,
Yeah.
Because
it
I remember,
helps.
like in workspaces, um, like, they're like, oh, suggestions for food. Like, even though you want to take them to a Nigerian place, I'm not going to call out the places that were there, but it was a thing of like, it was very hard to find that grid
Space
and
that,
trusting that.
yeah.
But for Tolu, you were going to make a point about like when Mama Shee was talking about the chili bites, changing that thing.
I think there's certain elements. There's some things you may have to like change
Adapt
to like for it to work in the market. But there's certain things, like certain names, that I feel it's important that you keep them because they're part of the identity of the product. Like Kilishi, there's no need for you to change the name of Kilishi to Chili Bites. Like, why would you even do that?
Yeah, and there's so many other things that are Chili Bites as well. Yeah,
like you can Kilishi is another way to tell a story. So what is Kilishi? Oh, Kilishi is this is what it is. Yeah. So there's certain elements when we're trying to break this food into this culture that we have to keep these elements because they're important for the storytelling aspect and they're important of the cultural aspect of what we're doing. I think,
And like both of you run spaces now, and I know again you don't necessarily have a permanent space here, but to be honest, you run it frequently enough that it feels like you have a permanent space.
Soon
it's coming. No, it's 100% coming. But I want to talk to you guys about that. And obviously, Mama Shee, I know you have a space now, which is amazing. Like it is like just. It's something that like I feel like the whole community is so proud of. Like we're just all like, oh, even like I'm like, oh, I know we're in town right now, but like there's this place in Tala that you could go to. It's just like it gives a sense of like pride to be able to direct people to the things. Or if anybody's like traveling here, I'm like, yo, check out this page. Like they do amazing things. If you're around when they're doing something, like go to it because you get the best authentic experience of like, especially people in Ireland who are trying to make that change, who are willing to take that risk, because there's not that many people willing to take that risk to do something that hasn't been done before. But I know that it also comes with challenges as well. Like there's like, you guys make it look good. Like I'm not gonna lie, you guys make it look very easy.
We were talking already.
Suya burger.
Suya burger.
Okay, first of all, are we gonna cut this out because we don't want nobody to hear this?
Suya burger.
A suya burger will be great. Or you like a suya steak sandwich?
Yeah.
Now you're dropping some gems now.
Yeah, I'm dropping.
I'm hungry. Like that would be so good. I think it would be really nice. I would love to be able to get things like that you can just buy and like kind of go with. Because I remember like when my mom used to like pack jollof rice for me to school, I used to be so shy of opening it, or like I used to be nervous about, oh my god, people are not familiar with the smell of this thing. So like I used to be so shy. Of
so
like
we have to let that.
When we sold, we sold jollof rice in Super Valley.
Yes. Yeah.
We sold jollof rice, we sold rice and beans, we sold beans and sweet corn with plantain in Super Valley. Branded or like packed. When we started, I did a vegetarian option of food. So we did meat first.
Yeah.
The snacks. And then we went into food and into the meals. So we focused on vegetarian because we have so many vegetarians out there. So it doesn't look as if, they don't have anything vegetarian. So we have plenty vegetarian options. So you just, so that was how we did. So we had 3 different meals and they did very well.
Yeah.
Now, one day, it was on a particular bank holiday. I think it was 2022 or so. That this lady, I had a call 7 a.m. in the morning. It was on a bank holiday. And then I'm like, okay, who will be calling me 7 a.m. in the morning on a bank holiday? Okay, it's not even a working day. So I had this voice. It was a lady. So she said, is that Mama Shee? I said, yes, that this is Mama
Community
Shee.
Mama.
She said, well, my name is Kathleen, and you're talking to a 97-year-old woman with a very beautiful voice over the phone. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, okay, where is this one going now? So she said, yesterday, I was in a Super Value store in Swords, and I came across this beautiful package, and they call it jollof rice. She said she was confused that how can there be jollof rice on the shelf in Super Value store? So she said, out of curiosity, she picked one and had to look for the manager. That, please, is this a mistake or you actually are selling this? So the manager.
Is this an Irish woman?
This is an Irish woman.
So she knew jollof rice.
Just hold on.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm like, I'm jumping here. Yeah.
This is a story I'm telling you
exactly.
now.
Yeah.
So she now went to look for the manager. The manager said, "Oh yes, we said this. This an African lady is producing." So so she took it home.
Yeah.
She said, "Okay." She said to herself that, "Okay, they can just do a packaging for jollof rice. Let's get home." So she took it home, and then she said she has one African store not too far away from her that once in a while she gets plantain. That she now went, she bought plantain, and then she got home. That by the time she opened the jollof rice and put it in the microwave, that she was shocked.
Yeah.
She was shocked because the aroma and the taste was exactly like the party smoky jollof
Jollof
rice
rice.
in Nigeria that she's used to.
Yeah.
I said, "But how come you're Irish, you're in Ireland, how do you know?" She said she lived in Nigeria for over 40 years.
Wow.
That was incredible. You know?
Wow.
Even like you're longer than
Can you
us.
imagine?
Yes, it's like she knows
She
nights
lived
more than me.
Yeah.
So she said she lived in
She's
Nigeria.
lived there more than you.
Yeah, 40 years.
So there's more
and
artists.
and that is where I'm going, that you have so many people like that in the community.
Yeah.
That if we don't reach out, they won't tell you. You won't know. Do you understand? So she
That
said,
is
she kept looking.
wow.
And I said, "How did you get my number?" She said she had to call her daughter in Nigeria after she had the mail. That no, I have to reach out to this person. And you know the
Wow.
funny thing, that day was one of those days I almost gave up from
Oh, wow.
doing
God
this
is
was-
good.
I was so tired.
Tired. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's sending me?
Yeah.
Why am I doing
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
good job. What must I do this cooking thing?
Yeah.
Why will send me? And when that call came, and then I knew why I had to do it.
That is
So imagine that she's
amazing.
been in Ireland now over 30 years again, and she hasn't had anything like that,
Yeah.
only for her to walk into an Irish store. So it was a big thing for her. So
That
she
is
went looking
incredible.
for me, for my she up and down. So now, imagine I
breaking-
made that
breaking the
jollof
mold.
rice and I called it something else because I want to suit.
Yeah.
Change it from
She wouldn't have
jollof
known.
to
She would have
red
ate
rice or
I said,
something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Red
take
rice.
Spicy rice.
jollof rice, spicy rice, you know. So it was so important, and then it was just fantastic. Then I had to go to her house to visit. And it was very
No, this is
interesting
also the first time
story.
I've heard someone who's more Irish
know.
and Nigerian than me.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
In fact,
she's more Irish. She's lived a
my-
more Irish and Nigerian
Yeah.
experience than any of us in this room.
my
40
children,
years?
Yeah. My children's there's this friend, one of my children's friend of family.
Yeah.
The mom was born in Nigeria. The mother of that girl was born. I was shocked when I met her. She said she was born in Nigeria and for that cause. I said, "So you carry a Nigerian BC?" I was so excited.
Yeah.
You carry a Nigerian birth certificate? She said, "Yes, I do." You know,
That is so fast. Like,
and
my
there are
mind
so many.
is actually being
You know,
blown.
Irish
40 years.
people. Irish people, they travel,
travel,
a lot.
yeah.
They go
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So I don't know who travel more. Is it Irish or Nigerians?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Irish. I'm sorry, Irish. Y'all started it. Y'all
Yeah.
started it.
You know,
Yeah.
Nigerians
they go
travel a lot,
everywhere.
though.
We do
travel,
travel.
you see
Like
us
everywhere
everywhere.
you go, you will find
You
an
know,
Irish
so
person.
it's also
Yeah, true.
important
Yeah.
to promote
The culture,
that
yeah.
culture.
Yeah.
It is non-negotiable.
And keeping it authentic.
And
Yeah.
yes, keep it authentic, promote it, do your best as much as you can,
Yeah.
you know, and let people, because that is the only way they can change the narrative about you. So if when you talk about
Preach.
racism, why is there racism? It's not
Yeah.
because people don't know.
The
There's ignorance. They don't
ignorance,
know a
yeah.
lot
Yeah.
about you.
Yeah.
So that's why they
You go with
say
food,
be negative
music,
about you.
culture.
But the
Yeah.
moment they begin to see a different part of you, your society, your culture, the story will change.
Yeah.
Immediately.
You know, and that for me is a way to combat racism
Yeah.
and things like that. So
That's what I
in
said about
as
the
much,
fragment society.
Yeah.
you know, anytime, anywhere we find ourselves, we just try as much as possible to promote your culture,
Yeah.
promote your where you're coming from. You know, be more positive.
Yeah.
You know, yes, there will be some people that they're not interested, but there's
Yeah.
nothing you can do because even within our own culture, there are some people,
People not
majority, who are not even interested in what you are doing, let
Yeah.
alone
Other people. Exactly.
So-
yeah.
so
Don't.
that-
She's like, don't
that's-
take it
Yeah.
personal.
I
Yeah,
heard
no, not at
there's
all,
usually
you
about
know.
20% of people that whatever you do, they will love it.
Yeah.
There's 60% of people that whatever you do, they'll be indifferent.
In
They will
different
see,
ways,
they'll see,
yeah.
they won't,
Yeah.
they'll enjoy it. Then there's 20% of people, regardless of whatever you do, it's the best product, they will hate
Hate
it.
it. Yeah.
So don't allow yourself to be too caught up on the 20 good or 20 bad.
Bad,
Just
yeah.
don't just
Because you still have,
do what you're
you still
supposed to
have
be
about
doing.
60.
It's the
Yeah.
60 there that
That
will
you can
just
still change
change,
it. Yeah.
Because you
So-
focus on the 20% that are, oh, this is not jollof rice.
Yeah.
Oh, you be
You're losing out on your
Yeah,
market.
yeah.
Tolu, obviously, what you do again, amazing, very specific. I know that, like, obviously, as I was saying, you make it look good. Do you know what I mean? So it's like one of those things. Like, what have been the challenges around, like, having this kind of style of having, like, for me, it's like you're like the rock alternative. If I was to come, like, if I was to say it in like music style, like you're like the classical music of Nigeria. Do you know what I mean? It's like this thing of like
I appreciate
feels-
that, actually.
it feels very, very different, and I feel like again, like my mom wouldn't be familiar with that, and that's like you doing West African food. Do you know what I mean? Like my mom wouldn't be familiar with how you would present your food or
yeah.
how. So that's why I want to like, because I'm like there has to be like a lot
Of-
that challenges and benefits and positives that come out of that. But like,
Yeah.
talk to me
I
about
think the benefits is where we can attract kind of like a diverse audience, but our audience is quite young,
that. Yeah.
which is really, really cool. So that's the benefits. I think the challenges is also communicating to like other like Nigerians and Africans and also older crowds that this is still, when you come and taste it, it tastes the
tastes like
same.
it,
yeah.
yeah.
So we've just made it look slightly different on
Yeah.
the plate. So that's the sometimes we're trying to communicate that. But when people do come in and enjoy the food, they understand that the taste is second to none. It
Yeah.
still tastes, the suya tastes like suya.
Yeah.
Now we need to maybe add Mama Shee's suya spice.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the suya tastes like suya. The plantain tastes like plantain. The
I did like egusi dumplings or
oh,
something with like
no, it was a
dump-
goosey pepper soup. But
pepper
we put
soup.
the pounded yam dumpling. So we just used the small pounded yams in the egusi, so people didn't see it. So they
Yeah.
were just eating the egusi soup, and then they just stumbled on the pounded yam inside it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we kind of like we just hid them inside the soup. So
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're just changing. We're changing the narrative of just the way it looks, but the
Yeah.
flavor.
If you give me what will I do? A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it
yeah.
was
It's
like
just good to be innovative.
exactly,
about
yeah.
anything you do.
exactly. We're trying
Yeah.
to. That's what you just that word. We're trying to be innovative with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So it's also just finding that perfect balance is the challenge of
Yeah.
because you don't want it to be too different. We don't want
Yeah.
Africans to be like this is not
This is
African
not us.
food.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make sure we keep that perfect balance.
The originality, keep it,
And then still try to
just
be
find the
innovative.
balance.
And then the
Yeah.
challenges then also is you're running because initially we were moving to different restaurant spaces doing the pop-ups. Every time you go into a new restaurant space, it comes with its challenges.
Yeah.
The layout of the kitchen is different to the last one.
I can
So
just imagine.
chef is now the chef is like, oh,
Yeah.
the last kitchen we were in, this was in this was in this. Now we're going to it. Now that was challenging
Yeah.
because then it was affecting
Also
the flow.
finding your flow,
flow,
your routine.
yeah.
Yeah, the flow.
It was
Yeah.
affecting the flow of service. But now
Yeah.
that we're in the fumbly, please God, we stay in the fumbly for the rest of the year. We've been getting like. We're using that. We've used it like 3 times now, 4 times now.
Yeah,
So
this
it's going to be
consistency, yeah.
consistency. It's helping us with the flow of things. So
Yeah.
that was kind of like the challenge.
Yeah.
So I know Mama, she probably has some other challenges because she has her space all the time. She has to worry about like
Yeah.
making sure it's full all the time. That comes with its own challenges
Yeah. And
as
you
well.
guys are also talking about system,
Yeah.
some system for
Operating
operating
systems
Yeah,
and
system.
just you have to your different methods where you collect your money, and
Yeah.
then also the general. Some will be looking for you to make some deals with customer just to create
A
more
flow, yeah.
opportunity for customers to have that sense of coming back, a return
Yeah.
customer, and all of that. Yeah, there's so many.
There's so much things
Yeah, yeah,
involved because
yeah,
I'm like, not only are obviously the food presentation is the very final bit where you
It
get, but
is.
it's like the very final bit. All the care has been put into it. Everything you get the food, but like let's walk it back now. Do you know what I mean?
I think one of the most part about is the marketing. People
The
need to know.
marketing, yeah.
People need to know.
Yeah.
Like the room needs to be filled
Yeah.
as much as possible.
As possible.
That's
So
true.
the weekends, like I know Mama she was saying, if on the weekends like it's not full, that's like what are you doing for marketing? Like how many
Yeah.
people know about what you're doing? And I think some people for like they worry a lot about maybe the product and they forget about the making sure people
People
understand actually
there,
know.
yeah.
So
And
That's
is that
really
something that you guys have found challenging? Like, because again, it's like new, so it's like and I know we've got to experience you within the market spaces, so like it's been that integration, and a lot of people that I know have not even gone to the restaurant and would still have known you
Yeah.
because of the markets. And obviously, I know you guys don't have specifically go to markets, but like, yeah, what in terms of like actually finding your audience, has it been challenging finding an audience?
And for me, I think what was challenging was the initial start of creating that awareness, and that was why I started with the market.
Yeah.
So by the time, it was quite challenging at the start. Even when people taste good food, they're still like,
Not
foreign.
committed. They still need to be the
they
commitments. Yeah.
the Irish people, I'm not saying, they love bread.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anything that is made with bread and chips, just guarantee that you will sell your product.
Yeah.
So if you can make bread in any way for them,
Yeah.
so taking the fear of taking away this my love for bread, I see it in some
Yeah.
people, and getting addicted to some kind of other food, or
Yeah.
maybe the fear of, what if I eat this thing now, will I get it tomorrow? you know but so many, you will see different response and reactions in that regard. But the most important thing is, at the time, eh, 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 I'm talking about 6 years ago, and so, where all of these things are were known, so it was really difficult
difficult.
breaking that barrier.
Yeah.
But by the time I kept pushing, I said, no, it's a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
You
will
gonna have
get
this.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said the other time, that I almost, sometimes I would like, oh God, I'm not doing this again.
Anymore. Yeah.
And then something will just come. God will just show me that this is the reason why you are doing it.
Yeah.
Even if it is for one
One
Oh,
person.
you
person.
have to keep. You have to know
Even
your
if
reason.
and then our youth, like the likes of you,
They were
and then they come
supporting.
to me and say, "Ah, auntie, you don't know what you're doing.
You're literally a community
You
mom.
don't know what you're
Yeah.
doing. It's so great." And then one day I stumbled on a Snapchat trend.
Yeah.
So was it Snapchat or Instagram?
Yeah.
I'm bad with all this,
So,
just
yeah.
learning every day. So I saw that trend coming from my Instagram page, and I saw these youths, they were all arguing, fighting themselves. They were literally fighting with birds.
Yeah.
That, oh, do you know what happened today? And the other one said, yeah, what happened? I saw jollof rice in Super Value. And that was how the conversation started.
Wow.
So and then the guy was like, oh, dude, Super Value shouldn't just start. What do they mean? How can they have jollof rice in, how can they call,
Yeah.
maybe somebody just cook something and then they name it jollof
Jollof
rice?
rice.
Oh,
Wow.
we have to test Super Value. That is not jollof rice, because
Oh,
jollof
wow.
rice doesn't have any counterfeit, any name. It has to be jollof
Jollof
rice,
rice.
and it has to be
Wow.
the real jollof rice. That conversation, guys, when I was just laughing, I was laughing. That was when I
Yeah.
still had the jollof rice in the store. So the
People were
conversation,
skeptical.
Yeah.
yeah. So we feel like the authenticity of it is what they were fighting.
Yeah.
That is it really jollof rice? Is it actually jollof rice? And then the other one was like, oh yes, I bought it, and it tastes like jollof rice. And you said you found it in Super Value store. It was so interesting for me.
Yeah.
These are our youths. So and then eventually I was going to make a response there that it is actually jollof rice, and it is. And then the next person said, but does it taste like party
Jollof
rice?
rice,
Does
yeah.
it taste like that smoky?
So we need to
jollof
make it
rice?
clear to everybody. So we have normal jollof rice, which is jollof rice that would be made at home. Da da da. That's kind of your usual. But patty jollof rice,
authentic.
the authentic. It's like
The
it's
smoky
essentially
jollof rice.
There's like a taste to it. It's like smoked rice essentially, and it's just
Peppers are used, have
Yeah.
been
So-
smoked. and
smoked.
grilled.
Everything is smoked in it. So it's like you're getting it. It's like a barbecue rice. It's just great. It's fantastic.
So they were, and then I was going to respond eventually when I saw the heated there, and then I just found that my daughter came there.
Yeah, she was like,
And then
yeah.
she was just like, oh yeah, that's true. And my mom makes that jollof rice.
Yeah.
It's actually the real jollof rice. I
Yeah.
just laugh. But then in it all, you look at it, that what you look at filling that space
Yeah.
for them. So it is so important for me.
Yeah.
When I see the likes of Tolu talks about, cooking and making Nigerian food, it is fantastic.
Yeah.
Because you are targeting that
Audience.
audience.
Yeah.
It is huge. you know.
Yeah.
We want them. Somebody came to me one day. They were going at the market. She wanted to buy suya, and she said, "Do you have suya?" I said, "Yes, we have suya." And she said, the next question she said was, "Is this suya?" I said, "Which one have you?"
Yeah. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
said it's second suya.
Yeah.
And then she said, "Oh, actually, really, I haven't eaten suya before." And you haven't eaten suya before.
And you
The one I
asked
want to tell you, you are asking me,
Is
is
this
this
suya,
suya?
suya? Oh yeah, it's suya, suya,
So it
suya.
was so interesting, you know, for her to
So
come.
it's the
You have
same-
not
yeah.
tasted the suya.
Yeah.
You don't know what it looks
But
like.
you want to make sure it's authentic.
Just want to make sure it's
Yeah, but
So
no,
I
it
said,
goes
well.
the same with all, because I remember even like trying Mexican food, and I had the first time I had it is a place like not too far from me, and it's run by a family, and it's like literally their family restaurant. And I remember trying the Mexican food for the first time and loving it, and then trying it somewhere else, and I was like, okay, yeah, it's just one of those things. Like when you get
Yeah.
something that's authentic, you
Yeah.
wanna
You know.
you wanna have
Yeah.
because like if I had had it in the first place that wasn't as great and it was just kind of
You
like
may
more
even
commercial.
change your mind and not
Yeah,
go
I'll
back
probably
to
I'm
it.
like, yeah, I would have kind of written it off, but like because I had it and there was particular flavors
Yeah.
that I was like, yo,
will
I have
always
like I'm
taste
always
it,
going to
yeah.
go back to them
Yeah.
for that.
There was the time that I had one Chinese guy came to the store, and I saw he was one of my main, you know, returning customer. And then one day he said he met me there and said, "Oh, Mama Shee, that I have had Nigerian food several, but this is very authentic." So jollof rice can be made
Yeah.
by anybody,
Yeah.
but there's something about jollof
Specific.
rice
And everybody's jollof
that
rice
you
is different.
must not miss.
Yeah.
But the most interesting thing about jollof rice is that everybody will cook jollof rice differently.
Different. And
Which
honest to
still
God,
makes
the
jollof
biggest
rice fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, a signature dish.
the
And that's
biggest
one thing,
insult that you could
know.
literally get at that time is like if someone told you your mom cannot cook jollof rice.
Basic.
Like, if, like that's the thing. If you're coming to my house, it's one of those like I'm like, Mom, is this the like make sure because this is gonna tell my whole personality from here on.
Yeah,
if I'm
100%.
raised in a good home.
I have
or
a
not.
customer.
Yeah.
I have a customer that came one day and said, "Mama, I'm going to fight." I said, "What happened?" I said, so she said, she believes that she cooks the best jollof rice and that our children will never eat any other person's jollof rice.
Yeah.
She said she made a mistake.
Yeah.
That she doesn't
her,
even
yeah.
know that our children knows Mama Shee's jollof.
Wow.
So
you
she
know what? They
just-
were good. They were trying to hide it.
She made a booking for Christmas.
Yeah.
So I said, "Oh," and I've discovered that she didn't make jollof rice booking. I'm like, "Oh, you don't want jollof rice?" She said, "Oh, don't worry about that. I make very good jollof rice." I
Yeah.
said, "Okay, don't worry." So when after doing a package and everything, so I did one small bowl of jollof rice and just sent
Gift,
it, added
yeah.
it as a gift, Christmas gift. She came back calling. She said, "Mama Shee, I didn't know you were that popular." I said, "Why?"
Yeah.
Then my son ate that jollof rice. I said, "This is Mama Shee."
Can you imagine saying that to your mom?
Yeah.
I know this is someone else's rice.
I
That's
was-
painful.
For me too, I was surprised.
Even at Christmas time?
Even
So I was surprised. I said, "Oh, but I told you that let me make you one small jollof rice, you know." But you don't take that away. Everybody makes it quite differently.
Yeah.
If I taste your jollof rice,
Yeah.
I don't. You know the funny thing, I don't eat my jollof rice.
Yeah.
As
Really?
good as it no.
Yeah.
I would rather go take somebody
Else's jollof rice, yeah.
because I love to eat. I would. I'm not as much as I love jollof rice. I love it the second day. because
Same. Yeah, when it's marinated, and also the jollof rice,
The
like
beauty
is
gets-
there.
when it goes by the day.
Yeah, it's
tastes
better.
A lot better.
I
And
think
also
for me, it
I-
all really
Yeah.
depends. Really depends on
So-
what type. If it's like I said, if
The
it's party or
rice.
not. Yeah.
Yeah, for me also the rice
Rice.
is really important, and also for me, I have a saying like your rice has to come independent. Like you can't have your rice sticking together. It has to be
No.
all independent, individual,
No. Yeah.
big girls.
But there
yeah.
are some rice. You just have to get it right with rice.
Yeah,
Rice can be tricky.
it
think-
can.
Yeah. So once you have an understanding, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think going back to what you're saying though, it's
Yeah.
like it's the hardest part was just you're breaking something into a new culture.
Yeah.
So it's like making sure people are fully aware of what you're
and like
doing.
again for you it's extra new because it's not the traditional style. It's like that it's like taking the leap of faith to like go into this and like I'm gonna
Which
taste
is
this,
good, you
which is
know?
amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
And a question I want to ask you, because again I feel like having something like this, because you guys are this podcast is called, sorry, this podcast episode is called To Be Nourished,
To
and
be
it's
nourished,
literally what
okay.
you guys are doing, like you nourishing the community all the time. But I think an important question to ask is, like, people need to show up for you guys as well. In obviously coming to your spaces is important, but I feel like there's certain things that people also need to keep in mind when coming to your spaces. Is there anything that you guys feel like you'd want the community to show up for you, even if it's, if it's when you come, tell your friends about it or whatever it is, like what is it that you feel like you need from the community as well to help you grow?
I think we need the community to also be willing to, like, the kind of money you would spend for in European establishments for your birthday dinner or your graduation dinner,
Yeah.
and your, if it's engagement dinners, you should be willing to spend that with ourselves. Don't
Yeah.
look down on your community.
Yeah.
Don't say, oh, my mom makes jollof rice and
So why should
Yeah,
I come
why
and
so why
should
should I
pay?
come and spend money on? You have to
Yeah.
understand you're paying
Yeah.
for the dining experience.
Yeah.
You're paying for the space that you're in. You're paying
Yeah.
for to come and be to be served.
Served,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're paying for the hospitality.
Yeah.
So don't look at what we're doing and devalue it because
Your mom makes
your
jollof rice at home, like,
your mom makes
yeah.
it's a different, it's the whole dining experience is different,
Yeah.
and the space that you're in, everything, there's attention to detail to what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And everything costs,
Yeah,
like every,
yeah.
because obviously when your mom makes rice at home, like she's making rice at home. Do you know
Yeah.
what I
Even your
mean?
mom that makes that
Rice,
rice
yeah.
has spent a lot of money buying
buying
it.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
only difference is that you are eating it at home.
Home, yeah.
But when you go out to
it's an experience.
to dine, it's going to be a
Yeah,
whole
but there's
different
containers.
experience.
You label your
There's-
containers.
it's-
You have
you
staff
just-
members.
It's
Like
not even just the
The
rice. There's
whole
loads.
building.
We're doing a lot more. Like
Yeah.
it's like you come to restaurants and you spend money in other places. Like
Yes.
why are you
Yeah.
devaluing
Yeah, your
African
own.
culture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, let's not do that.
So
Yeah.
that support has to come there.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also the quality
you know?
of meat, like the quality of
Yeah.
everything that you're getting as well. Like you're getting like we just because we're Africans doesn't mean when we go to the shop we get the meat cheaper.
Cheaper.
Like we
No.
don't. You know what I
No,
mean?
it's the same
We're
meat,
paying the
yeah.
same
Same
prices.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And the only difference is that the process is different, the cooking is different.
It's
that's all.
different. Yeah.
But yeah,
The
almost
price is the same.
The potato that I'm going to eat in an Irish restaurant, if I make it here, it's still the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, so you
Costs the
don't come
same
and
to get
say,
it, yeah.
Oh, but after all, it's
It's
I
African
remember
food.
Food. Yeah.
I
think we do
remember
that,
when I did the suya in the
Yeah.
packaging. The first time I brought it to one African store, and the guy was like, "Oh my God, is this suya that
Yeah.
you package nicely,
Nicely.
like this?
Yeah.
You are elevating that product. You are
Yeah.
giving it
That's
a
what we're
better
trying to
say.
do.
That is what is important. Packaging. You package everything so that the other person
We need
can
to
look at
care.
it. They can look at it. They would want to. They will want to desire it.
Yeah.
If I go to a store, what drives me mostly is the packaging.
Yeah.
The content of that thing may not be that perfect.
And the branding
but when I-
sticks. Like, yeah.
And once I say, oh, I love that, maybe let's have a try. So I explore things a lot. So for us, as
Business owners.
immigrant trying
Mm-hmm.
to, set up businesses, and we need to support one another.
Yeah.
We need to talk
Please.
about it. We need to be
Yeah.
proud.
Yeah.
We need to just be proud that wow. And I'm so grateful to God because a lot people are so happy since the start of the restaurant. People have been so. In fact, they are tasking me.
Yeah.
They are almost afraid for
Yeah.
me not to fail
Yeah.
more than myself. You get
Yeah.
it? Which
People
is-
care. Like
which
that's
is-
what I'm saying. The care
yeah,
is really there.
yeah. So,
Representation
And we need that.
matters.
yeah,
It really
so
does.
that's for me is something that
It's
I
important,
really
yeah.
have to hold on to.
Yeah.
So to know that your community are in tune with you, that they are ready to support you here.
Yeah.
In fact, some guys will come and say, "Look, we are behind you. You don't know. We know you very well, but please, this is our expectation. This is
Yeah.
beautiful." So it's good to hear that.
Yeah.
And it's good for more, people to
To
show that appreciation
Yeah.
and to buy the food. Don't complain. It's too expensive. No, you will go. In fact, what you will get from us are more cheaper
Yeah.
than what you get from any other.
Yeah. And
restaurant.
Africa.
I go to
yeah.
restaurants a lot too. I pay 50 euro for 50, 60. In some places you pay more.
Yeah.
It depends on
for
the environment.
very
Yeah.
They
good.
stay, it depends
Yeah.
on where you go. And I don't look back. Because I want to enjoy.
Joy, yeah, to
Yeah.
experience.
So it's going to be value for money. I love I love,
Yeah.
that
Value for
whatever
money.
I spend,
Yeah.
let it be value. So if you see me go
100%.
back there,
Yeah.
you know that you have gained something from, so
Yeah,
So
that is.
people just know you're paying
yeah,
for the experience
yeah.
and come and
Yeah.
enjoy the experience. Don't devalue us because we're African.
Yeah, literally. And this is also speaking to our own community.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
literally, yeah, it is. It's our own community. Like, again, we need to step out and be able to like experience these things as well and support our community. Do you know what I mean? It's really, really important. And yeah, no, I think just having those things are like having those things in place. We need to
And
continuously
it's a
do that.
logo, it's
Yeah.
a sign for Super Valley. Like that, I
Yeah.
love, like I said before, I love what they're doing. Support local, support,
Yeah.
support your own.
Yeah.
Because they promote those local businesses,
Yeah.
those ones that are struggling in the community. Because imagine you're selling cake, you're selling bread, or you're selling a piece of a product that you cannot your own um the way you make yours, or rather, we're talking about quantity.
Yeah.
You're out somebody who is supplying a big supplier who has the capacity to make thousands will be different from somebody who can only make
Yeah.
in the hundreds.
Yeah,
And Super
exactly.
Value is
Yeah.
here trying to
Yeah.
promote those ones who are making in the
In the
hundreds,
hundreds, which
Yeah.
which
is
is
really
very good.
important.
So you with the hundreds are competing with
Yeah.
those that are producing
In the
Yeah.
thousands.
thousands, and their costs are lower.
So yeah, so you find a lot of the times you find a lot of quality
Yeah.
from those smaller producers.
Yeah.
But people will not know, because if they don't reach out, they don't buy, they will not know that there's always something different from that quantity
Yeah.
and the one that produce in small
Mass,
batches.
yeah.
So yeah, so it's all inclusive thing that we all have to
Support.
support one
Support,
another.
yeah.
Support, like I said, was it all I was talking to the other time that on Saturday, Saturday gone by, the first 2 hours of opening at the restaurant were almost Irish, Asian, and all. The first set of customers that we had, and this is what we are looking for. So this
Yeah.
is not just about a Nigerian restaurant. No, let everybody,
Everybody come
come
and try.
let them
Yeah.
come and eat.
Yeah, come
Walk
and
And it's
in,
try.
good.
eat,
Like it's
you know,
good.
walk in, eat, and go. Have that experience. Be able to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and these are the things that you are paying for.
Yeah.
So and that should be appreciated.
And it's about people who
by
really
our
care
own.
as
Yeah.
well. Like
Yeah,
that's what's like.
so-
I think having something like this as well, because I really wanted to show like the people behind this before you get into the room. It took 7 years of sitting down, 7 years of planning. It took time realizing that I'm in a space where there's like I'm not seeing anything that's like this here. I have to be the first person to do this. It took someone like you going into Super Value and be like, I want to see something that represents me. Like, and these things are scary because obviously there's, and I think within our culture, again, this is, I don't want to generalize because a lot of things are changing, but people are also used to not doing things the traditional way of like selling
know.
and da da da,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
but like again,
not
going
true.
through the proper channels
Yeah, yeah.
and
So
like
things are changing.
things
and
are
that is
really
what
changing.
That is what we are trying to do
Yeah.
to encourage others that
So
look,
you
you
can
can,
do it as well.
actually do this. You can make it. Do it the right way.
Yeah.
You will get people to
Okay, I have
patronize it.
2 more questions for
So,
you guys. So I think one is about if anybody was kind of getting into the business now and was trying to get into food, and especially of West African food, what would be your advice? Like, what are the things that you've learned? Something that's been challenging, and then something that like you'd be like encouraged to like go for it, if that makes sense.
Challenging.
Yeah.
Make sure it's done properly. So HACCPs, the EHOs,
All the kind of Irish laws around
yeah,
food.
make sure it's done properly.
Yeah.
And then also they understand like the business like properly, understand the business model properly. A lot of people start things without like a fully like I mean fully fleshing it out, like.
Yeah.
So you can figure things out as you go,
Yeah.
which is
But like
not a
but a
problem.
ground understanding.
Have
of doing
understanding
it
of the
right.
actual like business model. So if it's a
Yeah.
takeaway you want to do, understand like what months are going to be slow, which
Yeah.
periods are going to be fast.
Yeah.
If it's a dining experience you want to do, understand the business model of what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And also start small and then go big instead of going big.
Yeah. Start small.
Start small, go big.
Yeah.
Don't people see the Mama Shee restaurant space
Yeah.
and forget the the
Markets
markets.
that how long has Mama She's been around? Five,
5 years.
5 years now.
People see the space, but forget the 5 years of what was going on
Yeah.
beforehand. The space just didn't come. She could have done the space, but it could have been gone after
Yeah,
a few months.
months
But she's built
literally.
a brand over a few
Yeah.
years, which is why she's going to be able to succeed in what she's doing by the
Yeah.
grace of God. So start small, go big, and do it properly.
Yeah, I think the doing it properly is really important. The going through the proper channels, especially like understand the country that you're in, understand
Yeah.
the laws of the countries that you're in. Like
There's no
this
shortcut.
there's no shortcuts, especially with food. I just feel like with everything there's no but with food it's very particular because people have to trust you. So
Yeah.
like people really have to trust. That's what's like if I go into your establishment, I trust that you guys
Yeah.
I'm good because I know you guys care about what you do. Do you know what I mean? So I think that point is very very important, and I think with this episode as well, just in with the conversations I've had with you guys, I'm definitely going to make some sort of document that I might send to you guys to review for all kind of like food safety places, things like that. So if anybody wants to start something, that they have some sort of like go to check these websites, make sure that you're doing
The right
it
thing.
the right way. And there's also Enterprise Ireland. There's different places that you can, different channels that you can also go through that will guide that process for you instead
And
of
they
like
provide training and all of that.
providing
as
training.
well.
There's loads of ways that you can like learn to do it the right way. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's really an amazing point to make. And you, Mama?
Yeah, just to add to what Tolu has said is, don't be afraid. You know, it's maybe challenging. It
Yeah.
may look daunting. Will it be possible? Yes, everything is possible if you set your heart to doing it. Also, you make sure that um when you do SWOT analysis, they ask you what makes your food different, what makes your product different from the other places. So you have to be convinced that you have something to offer.
Yeah.
That's your own. So there has to be, and that thing you have to keep it. It has to be consistent because that is what is keeping your customer. That is what is bringing them back. That consistency. Then the trust that you mentioned, it is very essential that people are able to trust that when we get here, this is what we're going to get. Not that they get here today, they miss something, and then tomorrow is something different.
Yeah.
So then communication. So it is in every there's nothing that comes easy. So there's no shortcut to success. No, you have to start.
Yeah.
Start
Grind.
Yeah.
small, and
Build.
you keep building on it, and you keep growing.
Yeah.
And then once you're passionate about it, you must enjoy what you are doing. No, that's very important.
Yeah.
You must
Do
enjoy.
you guys love what you do?
If
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
enjoy food,
It's
you will break. In fact, you will fold up before you start.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Sometimes you ever feel that when you finish cooking and all, okay, I know you are not doing the cooking
Yes.
mainly.
Yeah.
your
When you
legs.
cook, you finish cooking and then you bring out the food. You will not be looking at it and say, is this what I have just been cooking since morning?
Yeah.
Only these three?
Yeah.
That's it. There's a lot that
Of
goes
work,
into.
yeah.
And I was saying to somebody yesterday or some days ago that look, I think the best people that needs to be receiving compliment every day are chefs.
Chefs.
Honest to God.
Yeah.
Chefs
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
doing fantastic,
Yeah.
great work. So when you see a good chef, hold on to them, give
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
a hug that look, because it's not easy. Since we started the restaurant, it's been crazy. You woke me up at what time this morning?
Yeah.
I'm like, I was going to
Literally
say, can we
asleep.
move? Can you? I was going to say to you, but I could see from the tone, please don't people talk about.
And then you
You know,
gotta come
I
today.
only just wanted to sleep, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God, okay, I've made a promise, I have to be here.
Yeah.
But those are the things. You be on your feet for hours on end.
Yeah.
So it's a lot, it's different. But the point is that it is at the end of the day can be very interesting.
Yeah.
Because you enjoy it. When people come back and they give you feedback, I love those feedback. I love the criticism.
Yeah.
Come tell me, what are we
Yeah.
doing right? What are we not doing right? How can we
Yeah.
make things better? Don't come complain. No. Come tell us. Bring your complaint, bring solutions,
Yeah.
and So
Well, like, yeah.
yeah, so that's
Yeah.
it.
I think
The
those
research.
points are amazing.
is very important. Do your research. You
Mm.
can't start a business without doing that research.
Yeah.
A
It's
lot of
very
people
important.
they
Don't just
don't
jump.
they don't
Don't
get the
say,
cycles.
oh,
They don't look
Yeah.
at like
because Mama She is doing it, I just, after all she's doing it, I can
I
do it
can do
better.
it,
Mm.
No,
bro.
you can't do it
Mhm.
better because you just have to
You
sit
have to go through
back.
that process. Like
Mm.
Yes.
you
Yes.
can't, the
No.
process is there.
There's no
Like,
shortcut
No.
to it.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
That
Yeah.
is brilliant. And then the final question is, I think for both of you, you do bring a different audience, but if you had unlimited access to money,
Mhm.
every time I do this, I always look at the camera because I'm just like, I need someone to do this. Like, give
Yeah.
us the money because we have the people that can do it.
Yeah.
If you could curate something, for instance, like one thing that I've wanted to talk to you about was like, I would love to do something that's like Ibile and Mother's Day. Because again, there's like a certain age category that I think I want to have experience this kind of fine dining experience of foods that they're used to in different forms. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think something like that would, seeing mothers of various ages experience your food, I feel like that would make such a massive impact. Just I think visually, I think it would be really, really nice to see. So like partnerships, like is there any particular thing or an audience that you're looking for that you feel like if you had unlimited access of money that you could bring them in?
Actually, yes, I think just to say we
Yeah.
are doing a Mother's Day pop up on the 30th of March.
Oh, not me. I didn't
And-
even notice.
and you maybe we were
Yeah, well,
talking.
I've said, yeah, I'll be the artist.
Yeah, we were talking already. So
Yeah.
100% we want to do something for Mother's Day, and if we had unlimited funds, we'd be able to create like spaces and experiences and like we will be able to do what we're doing on even a larger scale.
Yeah.
We will maybe instead of doing 1 or 2 days per month, we may do 4 or 5 days
5
per
days,
month.
yeah. We might buy a building.
We might exactly.
Yeah.
So the funds will just transition what we're
Elevate.
doing
Yeah.
and move it quicker along the line.
Yeah, and so anybody who's going to sponsor this, I'm putting this out there. He has a 5-year business plan, 6-year business plan already. You know what I mean? So like we're going places. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah, I think that's really, really important.
Yeah.
Like having something like that, also growing, because I'm like, it needs to grow. Like people need to, even brands as well. Like you can work like alcohol
Yeah.
brands, whatever
Yeah,
brand it
we've-
is,
that's-
candle brands, like things that like elevate a
Elevate the
space. Like
experience, exactly.
it's a live experience. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So there's many elements and there's many brands that can find ways to tap into that because
Yeah.
like
The wines we've worked with, spirits brands, we work with artists. But what you just said about the candles is actually really interesting.
candles.
There's loads
There's
of
anything
yeah,
rug
anything,
makers.
yeah, anything that we
like,
can
just some,
do
like,
to elevate the
elevate a
experience.
space,
So
yeah.
that's what we would do if we had
Cushion people
unlimited
for the
cash.
back of your chair.
Yeah,
Like it's like that's what I need. Also, I feel like brands also need to be a lot more like
open-minded to
lot more
different things.
open-minded
yeah.
to how, because like food is home and that's a different thing. Like if I was a homeware brand, I'm reaching out to you guys because I'm like, I'll give you lamps, I'll give you cushions, I'll give you a rug, because it's like I want, like when people come, I'm like, okay, this feels like home, it feels comfortable. Do you know what I mean? So brands,
Yeah.
rugs, perfume,
Yeah.
anything
Anything we can do to anything we can use to elevate the whole
anything that
experience,
you
yeah.
feel like elevates
have-
a space.
I have
Yeah.
one product that I use all the time. I said, wait the hell, who is the producer of this product?
What is it?
They should be making me their brand
Okay, who?
ambassador.
Please tell us so we can go to them. Who is it?
So I did
Wait for the private.
Private. Okay. Anyways, when you get this message, please do your thing.
So yeah, have big money there. If you are investing into food business, it's a lot of money. Food business takes a lot of money. If you enter my restaurant, you will not believe what money went into it. Even though when I started, when I got the keys, it was like almost ready to go. But I was shocked at the money that went into it in order to make it look like what I want it to look like, and more better.
Yeah.
So I kept spending and spending, and then I'm like, okay, no, I just need to open the door. I just open it. I'm not spending again. I'm not spending again. Let's just open the door. And why? Because I just want it to be, when you come in, you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
That this is where you can see. So every day you spend, so it's a lot of money that you invest into a food business. You can never get it perfect
Yeah.
in one day. You see everything, you want to change things, you want
Yeah.
to move things around. I was telling you about space. Space is very important for me because there's so much. There's so much that you want to get done and all of that. So that space,
More
so
money, more
more
space.
money,
Yeah.
you need more space. With big money, I can't do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Oh, come and try
So
me
money.
come and try me. Come and try me with some
Yeah.
money. And then
Yeah.
you see what drama I'm going to bear. I used
Exactly.
to say
Yeah.
to somebody when they say, okay, if you say an investor, say, don't invest in what I'm telling you to invest in. Invest in this person.
Yeah, invest
This
in
person
me.
that is standing. Just
Yeah.
invest. Put your money on me.
Yeah, because
And
I
then,
hate, I'm not gonna
you
quit.
know,
Like, do you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
So, and
Yeah.
that for me is very important.
But-
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you guys
It's a
so
big
much. This was such
pleasure.
an insightful conversation, and I'm so happy I got to like hear more about you guys as well. And to people watching as well, like please come out, support these guys. Like they're doing amazing things for like community and actually nurturing us. I feel like there's so many ways that we can also nurture you guys as well by showing up and doing the things that we need to do. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank
A
you.
pleasure.
Thanks for
Really
having us.
appreciate it.
Pleasure meeting
Yeah,
Tolu
pleasure
and
meeting you
Yeah,
too.
and also
We'll
these guys are the
collaborating.
first time met
We'll be
today.
doing
Yeah,
a lot
we'll
of
be doing stuff together
collaboration.
Yeah,
now.
like they met
know?
today, they're already
So,
collaborating. What are you
yeah,
saying?
Yeah, we'll
You
be
know
doing
what I
stuff
mean?
together for sure.
So it's so
I'll be buying
nice.
suya spices from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
nice, and one of the days we could come
Yeah.
help you do some other work as well.
Yeah.
Cook, bring
Yeah.
Like
some,
definitely
We'll
work
do
bring
some
on.
with
taste,
Ibile to you as
you
well.
know,
Yeah, I was like, I definitely
so,
think
and
they'll
then
be
you
so
bring
cool.
Ibile to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
'Cause
it's
I'm like,
good
you guys bring such a
collaboration,
Yeah.
amazing audience. I feel like doing some sort of
Um,
like, again, more like, because I really want to get into doing like communal events. Like, if it's 50 people from like, if we do something in Blanche and we do something in Tala, it's
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
small
There's-
things to just allow people come in, experience
Yeah,
this thing.
there's something I do events almost every time now and then, even and all I'm trying to do is to foster a better relationship between Nigeria and Ireland.
Yeah.
So promoting that is a part of promoting the community, promoting culture. There was we're going to start an evening with Mama Shee. And
Yes.
one very soon, just be at a place, take it to the university, take it
Take
to
it.
world, bring the
Yeah.
likes of Tolu, bring the likes of, come and talk
Yeah.
about your experience, come and talk
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
so that the others can see, and
Yeah.
they get inspired by it. When people hear your story, anybody we have a lot of us doing different things in
yeah.
different sectors, those
Yeah.
in fintech, those
Yeah.
in fashion,
Yeah.
different places. Let's come together.
Together
Let's
and tell
talk
the
about
story.
our
Yeah.
let's talk about it. It'll be really nice,
I fully
Yeah.
agree.
So
fully
yeah,
agree.
so thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
You know why I'm saying thank you? I haven't relaxed like this in a very, very
Okay.
long time.
Look at us
So-
creating a zen environment. Hey, good. I love
This-
that.
You know, at some point I slid down.
Yeah,
I
you're,
slid
and you're a
down.
little cozy, huh?
So, so I haven't actually sat down to even
Good.
put my head. Just calm down and then you talk and
Yeah.
just relax and be
And
more
just
and be
share.
more human here.
Yeah. No, I love that. That is the best
Yeah, this has been
compliment
fun.
we've gotten
This has
so
really
far.
been
So
fun.
So
yeah,
I've
I
been-
love that.
I've been locked away in the kitchen for some time, and I
Yeah.
said, "Oh, that brought the compliment for chefs
Yeah.
2 days ago." I'm like, "Oh, I should be hugging every chef."
Yeah, exactly. Every single chef.
Oh my God!
No, like my respect
it's
for
not
chefs.
easy. No, it is not. And
Yeah.
the funny thing is that you buy all the ingredients. Your kitchen is loaded with different sort of ingredients, and then the end product, it's like.
Small.
And you are scared that okay, all
Yeah.
this trouble, since this is
Yeah.
all I'm able to produce. But
Yeah.
then the taste.
Yeah, and
you
the
know,
love. You guys
so-
love what you do.
then-
Oh
yeah.
man, the energy.
So
Yeah.
I was we had a private International Women's Day. I know you're about to finish, but
Yeah.
I remember when it was flowing, I was like in the kitchen with the guys. I was like, guys, isn't this just incredible?
Yeah.
And everyone just
Yeah.
looked at me and they're like, what's wrong with this chap?
Yeah, he's like
The energy was just
flowing.
Yeah,
And like that's what I'm saying. When you're doing something that because I believe in God, so I believe that everything that you're doing, it's like it's one of those
all
things that it's
are
like
possible.
it's
Yes.
and it's also the
Yes, it's all-
feeling,
yeah,
that
and that is
internal
also-
feeling, that internal joy that you get from doing something that feels right. Her,
So,
yeah.
thank
Yeah.
you so
Thank
much.
you so
Thank
much.
you guys,
Cheers.
really
It's been a
appreciate
great
it.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.